I slept. I made sure that I found a way through a cloud of haze. Every day I wept, found how to live through all them cloudy days. You know the mind's a maze with all its mixtures. It's always hard to get the entire scope of the picture. 1080p, that's you other busters, yeah, obsolete. Can't fuck with me, excuse my French, but I'm not discreet. I wear my heart on my sleeve, but I've learned my lesson. I learned 1996 birth, one of the greatest weapons untold. I'm destined to reach heights thought I could never see, but foolish thoughts rampage my heart and let me not reach the peaks that's entrusted to me. My belief shatter off past actions. I grieve, but grievance never really matter. It's how I choose to act differently in the coming battles to overcome my limitations and get out my shadow. But it's hard to wade in this water where it was never shallow. Fuck it, let me get the paddles. Fuck that now, let me get this castle. Fuck that now, let me get this battle.
Right.
What it do, everybody? Oh. Wow. All right. Welcome, anime enthusiasts, to Squad Nero, the ultimate destination for all things anime. Whether you're a seasoned otaku or just taking your first steps into the captivating world of Japanese animation, you found your home. I'm Rob, aka Sage, and with me today, I have our usual folks up in the building. We got Chef D, we got T Smooth, and we got Croco's Corner, aka Now, your guys through the vast realms of creativity, epic adventures, and heartfelt stories that anime, animation, and gaming have to offer. Join us each week as we dive deep into the latest releases, explore hidden gems, and discuss the hottest topics in the Blur community. Get ready for a journey filled with laughter, tears, and the unbridled passion that makes anime a truly unique art form. Without further ado, let the anime odyssey begin. All right, y'all. You know what episode we on. You already see the number.
Giggity. Geschmoigen.
As soon as he says something,
I just say giggity.
yeah, that's all you had to say. You ain't have to say. You ain't have to say too much.
I don't.
Nonetheless, y'all. It's episode 6.
We are more mature than this, as a disclaimer.
No, we're not. No, we're not. No, we're not.
Surprisingly, I'm very tame right now. I have not said anything off the wall. I just say giggity. That's it.
That was good.
Usually I have something to say. Usually I
That's
have
fine
something to
for him.
say. I don't. I'm good. It was Father's Day this past weekend. I'm chilling. I'm
happy
good.
Father's Day.
Yeah, happy Father's Day
feel?
to all the fathers.
How you feel? Matter of fact, we here now. We might as well unpack it a little bit. How was your
Why?
Father's
Wait,
Day?
whoa! Why you gotta unpack it?
Come on, we here.
It was like I didn't know it was going this way.
I didn't know we was here. I ate a lot of crap, like crab. Like we had a seafood boil.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was cool. Nothing too crazy. You know, I went to church, celebrated the Lord, and then got celebrated myself, and then I had to drive 4 hours.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
Oh, you were in Buffalo?
Yeah, I was in Buff. That's why we didn't have a bite yesterday.
That's the only thing with that. You gotta. It's for Father's Day, and it's like, all right, yo, happy Father's Day, but you gotta drive 4 hours.
But then I gotta go back in a week and a half for a family reunion in Buffalo.
Yeah.
And then the week after that, 4th of July.
Yep.
Yeah.
A busy summer. All right, y'all. We got a couple little topics up in this thing. I feel like the news cycle is kind of. It's kind of. We got a couple mangas that's ending soon. We got a couple animes whose seasons are ending as well, such as Fire Force. Manga's Kaiju number 8, I believe, is in its last phase. I don't know where Dan to Dan is at. I took a break from it for a little while. But the current arc is going crazy. I don't know if it's close to an end or anything.
They're not.
Like that.
Dan is probably not going to end for another 50, 60 chapters. So you got time.
That sounds pretty good. All right. All right. So we got some topics.
Question: Do y'all hear like screeching in the background of mine?
No.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna beat myself up.
All right. We got My Hero. We got they just dropped a new trailer. We got Dan to Dan, Evil Eye. T was able to go see that, so he could give us his quick rundown. Rumors about the Boruto anime coming back. And questions that I have for y'all for there. We got news about the Batman 2 script as well, which might be old news now that I'm thinking about it, but still news nonetheless that we never talked about. And then I got a question about one of these comic series that we've been, at least some of us have been reading. I'm pretty sure all of us have at this point in time. But let's start off with this My Hero Academia final season trailer. And I'll get to a question that I have for y'all after.
Oh.
風が強く吹き荒れていた。
人は明滅するのだ。私の灯火が消えようとも、灯火を受けた誰かが照らす。
無様だな、オールマイト。笑顔をなくし、希望をなくし、地べたを這いずって。
負ける気がしないぜ、オールフォー。
オールマイト助けなきゃ、緑谷いずく。
みんなが見てるぞ。平和の象徴が無力の象徴に落ち、耐えるさの。
世界に夢を見せた男の死で、夢は現実に帰るんだ。
このまま消えろ。喜びが痛みを凌駕しているうちに。
紡ぐんだ。意志を、希望を。
October? I didn't see that. That was my first time watching that.
Yeah, mine too.
First, let me get y'all thoughts so far. Let me get y'all thoughts.
At least we're going to see the Deku haircut that everybody hates. Like I said, I just didn't really like the ending because it was like, Homeboy was just reduced to what he was reduced to. Other than that, I'm probably not going to watch it. I'm gonna be honest. I have other stuff that I could be watching, and reading because I need to catch up on a lot of stuff. Especially Astro Baby. That's heating up for me. I'm in chapter 13, 14 on that one. My man said, "How can we trust you?"
Great series. My Hero. I like that's the thing. Here's even if it's like I know how it ends and I didn't exactly love how it ended. I guess it's kind of like the JJK treatment. Like when JJK, maybe that doesn't seem fair to compare for a lot of people, but the same thing for me somewhat exists. I'm gonna watch the end of JJK, even if I didn't exactly love how it rounded out at the end. I'm still gonna watch it. It's a lot of moments that's worth watching, and it's the same thing here from My Hero Academia. I think there are a lot of moments worth watching. A lot of the just build up that happened that was great. So I think it'll still be a good, like animation wise, it'll still be good, but story wise, it'll start strong, but it probably won't end strong. It's to be expected.
I feel you. What about you, D?
I actually thought it looked good. I keep forgetting when it said the final season. I was like, didn't you already say it was trash? We also talking about the manga.
Yeah.
But I mean, for me, for somebody that's never seen it, I thought it looked pretty decent. So I don't know. But I mean, if you're saying it's given like the JJK treatment, it's like, damn, that's hell of a letdown because the graphics look good, seem pretty intense, but just knowing ahead how many people were disappointed with the ending, it's like, damn, like, I hope they didn't do all this for naught, you know?
I watched Attack on Titan. I knew how Attack on Titan ended, and I watched it still.
That's true.
It could be probably just because of how, I mean, even how bad Attack on Titan's ending was, you could still understand why they went with that ending. For My Hero Academia, we're not going to spoil it for anybody. It just the way it ends, it's just like that much more atrocious than Attack on Titan. Like it was a slap in the face for the Attack on Titan ending, and then My Hero Academia was like a shot to the ribs, like unprovoked, no reason.
That's fair.
The shot to the ribs, it was that bad for real.
Yes.
It was a lot of things.
It was worse than Demon Slayer.
When you
Yes.
scratch your head, Demon Slayer wasn't even that bad when you factor it in with My Hero.
No,
Now
I would put it. I would put it on par
no.
with Demon Slayer.
Yes.
I would put it on par with
yeah,
it.
because Demon Slayer did get a little wacky at the end there.
Like I said, I already told you my favorite anime is Miraneki. It has 2 different endings. The anime ends happy, and the manga ends sad. I like the sad ending. It's supposed to be Jury. They're fighting demons. How does Tanjiro have so much daggone plot armor that he makes it out of everything like that? Call him Goku.
I said no spoilers, man. Come on, brother.
But he makes it out of... I never say anything about the ending. He just makes it out of everything. It doesn't matter what arc it is. Look at the entertainment district. This man had a cut from the bottom of his mouth going up to the roof of his mouth, sitting there poisoned. He miraculously made it through. Miraculously.
But see, that was from the mark, and then they went to the what's the name? Remember
The
they went
breathing
to
techniques.
Didn't they go to Swordsman Village and he went into that pool and it healed him?
But still, he was not. He was literally him and the Sound Ninja was sitting there poisoned to Kingdom Come, and for him to like sit there get the. Granted, I give it to him. Make the last slash. He could have went on to Blaze of Glory. They could have went on talking about Inosuke and Zenitsu. I'd have been okay with that. Tanjiro should have been gone in many situations.
He would not have been okay with that. This nigga killed a main character. I think not.
Well, look at it.
I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I do wish that they did that though.
They did. But hold up. But they did it to spoiler alert. What was it? Chapter 170 something.
No. Stop.
That might be too big.
Hold on. I went through denial on that one, and y'all was telling me, "Oh, just deal with it, T. Just deal with it." Blue and red make purple. Blue and red makes purple. How?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
It had to happen, bro.
No, it did not have to happen. It did not have to happen. Don't.
I didn't like that one. I didn't. But
they could have nerfed him. I would have been okay if they nerfed him. They did not have to off him. They could have nerfed him.
The way that they built, like, that's the thing. I want to see something like that where they don't build the character up, if that makes sense.
I can't wait until they animate it, and then y'all see the totality in which these niggas had to fight under. And it really shows that off, and then y'all can understand.
I'm not watching anything.
It makes sense.
I'm not watching anything of that anime from this point on. After reading,
Yeah, okay.
I don't buy that.
Okay.
I'm not doing
I
it.
don't buy that at all.
I'm not doing
Bro,
it.
it's too much heat. Like, even if that's the thing about anime, and this go back to My Hero. This go back to the point with My Hero. Like, even when it in bad, if you like animation, there's still some great animation scenes, some great little smaller
but let's
plot
take it further.
stories.
It happened off screen. How we gonna see it animated? It
might
happened
not
off
be
screen.
animated.
It's not gonna happen off screen.
It might not
happen
be
off-
anime.
It didn't happen off screen.
Nope. Yes, it did. Yes, it
No,
did.
it did.
Yes, it did.
You
did.
wanted to see this shit, like you wanted to see the attack go through the nigga.
I gotta see it through. You gotta see it through. I can't.
Maybe
just see.
they will do it.
I think they will.
No, they.
I think they will.
I think they specifically held out on showing that because of the anime.
Ooh,
So we're not seeing that. So we're not getting that scene for another 5 years.
Probably. Nonetheless, I got a question for y'all for this My Hero joint. Do y'all think that they would change the ending after the lukewarm responses that they got from manga readers?
No.
It wasn't enough time.
Attack on Titan didn't even see it.
And that's the best point. Attack on Titan had way more time, I feel like, and they didn't. They kept to the original and then tried to do the Neon Genesis. They tried to pull one of those moves real quick with we'll like ads as stupid. But no, they won't. It's not enough time to do it. A, B, I'm sure the mangaka will fight back. Like, I don't think they like that. I think if the mangaka wanted it to end a certain way, they just wanted it to end a certain way. And they gonna give you that. They gonna make sure that the studio is animating that. Very few times has that actually been done where they've like either gone back and corrected it or corrected it before the time it's gotten to the anime. And I just don't think that this is one of them.
I got a side note. Why is the thumbnail an animated version of me and my homeboy in cosplay, but it doesn't have me in
Oh,
the
that's
full
a great one.
cosplay. How did you do that? Like, bruh, if you gonna, you know what? I'm gonna leave that one alone. I got something for you later.
You didn't know that?
I just looked.
It is a great picture.
It is a great picture. I would have no qualms if I was you on
It's
YouTube.
on YouTube.
Oh,
I would have no qualms if I were you on that because that is a great. I love that picture. I would put that if I was you. I would get that picture on a shirt.
That nigga hating on my thumbnails, yo. That's crazy.
I'm just saying the AI could have done a little bit better by keeping the full apron on me. That's my whole thing.
Oh yeah,
It's like half an apron. Like that's my only gripe. Like it's dope, but it's like
You got that thing tucked in, cuz.
hey yo,
Okay.
hey yo.
Yeah. All right.
See,
All right.
see,
All right.
you
All
just had to
right.
be the first one for this episode. Okay.
All right. So resoundingly, that's a no. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
No changing of the ending. All right. Well, that took care of that. Do you think that it would actually like behoove them to change it, or should they just double down?
Yeah,
on
they're
the
probably gonna.
atrocities?
You might as well see it through, my boy. You might as well. If it's animated properly, maybe I might say something differently. But knowing that ending is coming, I am not like I'm looking forward to these movies, but I'm not looking forward to the third act of that last one. I'm really not.
I got you.
I'm fine at this point, bro. I've gotten to the point where I feel like narratives for anime has. I wish that they had the opportunity to take a step back, but I think it's too profitable at this point. It's kind of similar to how I feel with a lot of stuff with Marvel, where it's like I just wish they had enough time to just kind of fall back and see what can be improved upon. But when it's international now, it's too valuable. Netflix, Amazon, all these different places are involved in it. They won't ever do anything like that. But because I've come to terms with that, I'm okay with just like enjoying the story that we like, the build up and the things that's kind of the other elements you could say maybe to it, like the animation or fight scenes or the sub arcs within an arc, things like that. And My Hero Academia has all three of those things. So I think it's still be a worth it watch.
Like you said earlier, some of them fights will go hard with the animation.
Yeah.
It seems like they did do attention to the animation. Obviously, they had a hell of a lot of fucking time. Nonetheless, I don't know. It's a lukewarm response for me. Dan Evil Eye movie review. T, you can take the reins.
So
Let us know.
I think my son.
That's how it was.
Yeah, it was.
That was the movie. That's his review right there. That's the sum up.
Perfect.
I give it a 9 out of 10. In my opinion.
Wow, nice.
Because and the only reason why it's not a 10 out of 10 is because of the fact that I have to sit there and suffer and wait 3 weeks until I can catch up to the next episode. Because they did a good job with this movie where they gave you a recap, but it wasn't a straightforward recap. It was bouncing all over the place where you got like a nice little synopsis of what's going on with Momo and Okarun, which is pretty cool. How Okarun feels about Momo, how Momo feels about Okarun, the adventures they went on at this point. Grandma Sekio, you know, that she does her duck thistle as usual. And like I said, she does her duck thistle. Granny, I say. So with that being said, when it leads into where it catches up at the end of season 2, it forces you to go through that weird trauma nonsense where Momo is in the bathhouse and
Oh yeah.
Okay.
the guys are in there and
I did not like that the last season ended on that point.
Yeah,
I did not enjoy that.
Yeah.
Some of the things and Dan, I don't really like.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
Honestly, that's kind of the trope of what we're dealing with the storyline. They're going to throw that weird stuff in there. It's going to make you feel uncomfortable, but at the same time, it's like the story is pretty dope. To try and overlook, not to say to overlook it, but just enough to like get you past that point.
Basically,
when
every anime has it at this point.
pretty much.
Yeah, it's just I don't know something. It's just uncomfortable.
Yeah,
It's
no,
just,
I
I think I can see it a
Yeah.
1,000 times, and I'm still gonna feel the same way.
Yeah.
It's
a
like
1,000 for 1,000
well,
times.
it's like
It's
this.
'cause
Like
these niggas younger too, though.
yeah, that's what makes it even worse. It to me, like certain anime is like watching the movie Hostel, like Hostel 2. That uncomfortable moment at the end where homegirl pretty much cuts homeboy thing off and feeds it to the dogs in the process. It's kind of like that uncomfortable moment, or even when Money Mike crunches Damon's things with the vice grips. It's that uncomfortable, like stomach queasy moment in those situations. But then once that minute and a half scene is done, it moves on and it's like straight heat. So you're like, I'm just not gonna rewind it back to that part. So once you get past that like it starts to delve into the breakdown of Evil Eye. So as all the destruction is happening, in the fighting, you see this new yokai that's coming up, and when you see the backstory of the yokai compared to the dancing lady, what?
That just brought up another question. I'm remembering that storyline and the backstory for that.
Because it's sad because this child has been sitting here for this longest part of time trying to be a protector, but it's not helping because it's a specific family that's doing the same thing over and over and over and over, and it gets him to the point where he wants to unalive a lot of people. So when Evil Eye it pops up on the scene, you think it's gonna help, but it doesn't in the end. Like he does quell the enemy for a moment, but then it's like he becomes the big bad in a sense. And I'm gonna say this: when y'all get to the end of episode, I will say maybe halfway through episode 3, Okaru's the MVP. He's been working out for a reason to like pretty much hold on to the to be able to go all out in Turbo Granny form, and his workouts paid off. All I gotta say is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 20. When you get to that and he's counting, it is, bruh, it caught me off guard. It was hilarious at first, but I'm like, yo, Okaru's a beast. His unorthodox, unconventional style of fighting makes him such a very profound character, in a sense where he does so much stuff that you're not going to expect to happen. And when he does his stuck thistle, he does his stuck thistle. And I kind of like the relationship him and Gigi is starting to have in this, because Okaru doesn't have many friends, and Momo's technically his only friend at this point. The fact that when Gigi comes on the scene, it took a little bit, but he saw Gigi as a friend. He's starting to build more of a, like, come out his shell more with what he does. Even when he goes in Turbo Granny form, you can see his expression changes during different types of the fights, even if it's dealing with protecting Momo. But when something else happens and he says a couple, like he has a mini monologue, it shows that his character development is starting to really flourish. So overall, like, the movie's a 9 out of 10. And like I said, it's the only reason it's not a 10 out of 10 because it's not a complete movie. It's only the first 3 episodes. I didn't stay for the director Q&A at the end of it. I just wanted to watch the show and then get out of there. I'll watch a Q&A on Crunchyroll or something when it gets on there. But overall, yeah, I'm looking forward to July the 4th when the first episodes drop. But it's just going to suck because I got to wait till the end of July to catch up to where I left off at.
Are they doing all 3 that the movie cover in like the first drop?
Yes.
Okay.
No, not in the first drop.
Okay.
I highly doubt they'll do that. They'll do it weekly. Because remember when I saw the first? Remember when I first saw it in theaters and I told y'all about it before it came out? It was the first 3 episodes.
It took a month before you actually
I got caught up to episode 4. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
But that's honestly, I wanted to see it. I had the shirt.
I think that's probably though for the people who do watch the anime and like are used to the episode by episode basis. It sounds like based off how you described it that it's still gonna pay off tremendously for that viewer.
Oh yeah, heavy.
Everything you said, I'm glad. Like that made me 100%. That was like what I wanted to hear. In regards to like what to expect for this season, at least from this early preview with these 3 episodes in the movie form, you touched every basis. You talked about I wanted to see more Okarun's development. I wanted to see that not only on a personal side but also on his in terms of his powers. So check mark there. Check mark on the psychological aspect. We definitely gonna be still diving into that. I could tell that's a heavy theme with Dan. So I'm really happy to hear that it's come right out of the gate. You're gonna continue where season 1 left off in that psychological vibe. Yeah, and then like you said, all the characters are the all-stars of the series, and for them to just be continuing on with what we saw from season 1, that's another check mark for me. So that's great. I'm glad that you have that review.
I'm just saying, low key. I kind of, how do I say this? I might, because I'm still reading I'm reading the manga slowly but surely, so I'm just a little bit ahead. But Gigi, yeah, he's becoming one of my favorite characters. He's becoming really one of my favorite characters. He was annoying at first. I'm gonna say that now.
Did the movie end after the fight? I think I asked this in the group chat. I can't remember what you said. Or did it end before the fight ended?
I'm not. It ends at which fight are we talking?
The final. After the big bad. The nigga with the eye.
I don't know if it ended. I gotta read back so I can see where it left off at.
No. I'm talking about the movie.
I'm trying to. I gotta get back to you on that one because I gotta read the manga and see where it left off at because where the movie left off is her. Like I said, I gotta go back and look at the manga so I can see where it left off at to tell you. Because I can't remember right now what exactly happened after that, after where the movie ends.
So he's saying, it could very well be, but it could also not be, essentially.
I got you.
Actually.
It was good, 7795 Harris. Appreciate you for stopping on by.
Yeah. Shares.
Appreciate you.
Thank you for coming through, Pimpin'.
Yes, sir. We was just talking about Dan Evil Eye movie. T just went over that. So you saying it was a 10 out of 10, right?
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. All right. New season of Dan releasing July 4th, and it will go over what the movie went over as well as continue the story on along. Actually, quick question. When do y'all think they'll end this second season? I know T, you're caught up in or you're reading the manga.
I have no clue because I haven't read it.
Let me actually see the
I
art.
don't know.
Yeah, I gotta read that manga too. That manga is pretty good.
I'm not gonna lie to you though. Sometimes I prefer to lead. Like there's certain anime where I just prefer to watch the anime, not because there's any particular reason, but I just like I want to be surprised.
Yeah,
it's just that simple. I just want to be surprised by it.
So I just look back. It's still more of a fight to come where it left off at.
Okay.
But yo, Shires, once again, thank you for coming through. Appreciate you, bro. It was nice meeting you again at DreamCon. Appreciate you, Pimpin'.
I say here.
Yeah, yo, check him out. You know, on YouTube and everything.
Wait, what's his name?
Shires. He's in the
Shires.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
Appreciate you, my brother. Or sister. Or
No, brother.
Brother. I gotta figure out these arcs on this damn. I gotta reread this shit. There's so many.
So, as people who have read the material, where would you like for it to end off?
That's why I'm trying to pull up the arc because it's a lot easier for me to be able to.
And obviously explaining that without spoiling, if at all
Yeah.
possible.
Honestly, I'll just leave it at this. I want them to end off with like Okaron and Momo like being in game, and then just end it off there, because the way that it's like playing through the story, you see they're starting to like develop their relationship and everything with the friendship, because it's not like it's a true one big bad, because every arc has something that they've been fighting. Every couple episodes there's something new that they're fighting, or every couple episodes there's a new yokai showing up. It's always something. So like at the end of the day, I just wanted to end off where Okaron actually is more confident in himself more, where he can actually go to Momo and say like, I can protect you, and Momo doesn't have to say his butt all the time, and pretty much they just go ahead and ride off into the sunset in game. You know what I mean? I like that one big fight and then just call it a day after that.
They're gonna end it off after. Well, this arc is called Evil Eye arc, so it's gonna be some shit that happens after, and then they're gonna end it before they start off the new one, which is sad. But I don't know. I mean, they could possibly. The arc that follows it is called the Kaiju arc. If you read it, then you understand why it's called that. If you haven't, don't try to make no assumptions. I mean, you're gonna think it's what you think it is, and it's not gonna be what you think it is. Yeah, but they got that, and that's like a pretty big arc because it kind of sets up an even bigger arc after that shit too. So, oh no, they probably gonna end it off doing some fucking training and shit like that.
If they just ended it at this Evil Eye arc, would that how would that feel? Would it feel like it was quick, like going into like
Evil Eye will probably end, because what was it? Turbo Granny was 4 or 5 episodes, and then they had the other fight where the aliens came back with the Nessie, the Nessie. So it's gonna be two. They're doing a good job with this. So it's like you'll have one big fight with the next yokai. Have a little side moment where they had that the human anatomy body come trying to be with his love, and it's gonna be like 2 episodes of like side stories that still carry on the story, and maybe another yokai gets introduced, like how they did with the one girl in the last season, and then they'll set up for the next big one. So after this, it's gonna be like small stories leading into the next big story for the next arc.
Oh, okay. So come out the gate swinging, then basically like how first season was in a way, but just obviously more oomph because we further along in the story itself.
Yep.
Got it.
Technically, you do 1.5 arcs because they still haven't finished the Cursed House arc, which is what season 2 started, or season 1 ended off with. So if they're gonna do the same thing, it seems like they're also adapting more chapters per episode than the first season. I think they're taking I was about to say the Crunchyroll, the solo leveling approach, which I don't know if we're getting reports about that. I don't know if that will do it justice.
So far with the first season, it ended off with chapter 33.
Mm-hmm.
So the movie goes all the way up to from 34 to I'll tell you in a second.
I'm getting assumptions from Google AI saying they might go up to chapter 72, 73 of the manga for the season 2 adaptation. I don't know how long that, because I'm guessing it doesn't go to the other fight in the Evil Eye. Right?
Yeah, so so Evil Eye goes for 11 chapters, 34 to 45.
Damn.
34 to 45 for 3 episodes. So
damn,
I don't think
I kind of understand though for the after part of the Evil Eye, after the house part. I'm not trying to spoil or anything, but T, I'm pretty sure you know.
Yes, you're going to spoil it if you go further.
After they leave this location, that like those parts aren't really like necessary. I mean, kind of necessary, but not too necessary. You could fly through that shit. And then they gonna get to the kaiju arc, which I'm curious. I'm quite curious, intrigued. All right, nonetheless. Dan. I don't think it's shown anymore, is it?
Tell you right now, it might be sporadic. Let me see. Evil eye. Let me see.
Why you look that up?
Yeah, it's still showing up by you.
Still
So,
so?
yeah, it's showing subbed. I'm trying to see. I don't think the dub is showing anymore, but they're showing subs still. Yeah,
All
dub's
right.
not showing, but you can see it subbed. Have fun with that.
So if you still want to see it in sub, it's still out probably at your local theater. So just give it a check. I'm gonna skip the Boruto anime thing because I'm pretty sure now me and you touched upon that the last manga that we did. If you don't know, we have a couple diehard Boruto fans in here. I believe so.
Yes,
I
sir.
know I'm one. All right, Nihilist too. We in here locked in. I'm trying to get the other two involved, but we gonna keep working at that.
I don't know. I've been reading it, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, 3. My bad, 3. We got 3. All right, so now all we got to do is get me.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Blue Vortex, you pulled me back in. Boruto itself, trash.
All right, we ain't got to do that. All right, we ain't got to talk about the past.
Trash.
Yeah, but the anime that would come out would be the Blue Vortex, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I will be back
so
watching.
Yes.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying, no, but here's the thing, though. How is it that Naruto, OG Naruto, fire, Shippuden, fire, Boruto, the next generation, trash, Blue Vortex, we're back, baby. Like
I feel like Shippuden had a lot of filler though. You can't say that.
I never said it didn't have filler. At least I would rather watch the filler than watch Boruto.
I'm not gonna lie to you. In comparison, like if we just go by the breakdown of what people look for out of an anime, Naruto compared to Naruto Shippuden, like if it's just compared by its predecessor,
Classic Naruto
Shippuden was yes.
Classic
Shippuden was terribly executed. It still was great to me personally. It had a lot of good moments in Shippuden, but execution-wise, original Naruto was like flawless in comparison to Shippuden. If you just weighing both of them against each other, so it being inverted here, do I hate that? I wish that Boruto could have been done better and that the execution wasn't as bad as it was. But if Naruto or if Blue Vortex is like Naruto to Shippuden, I'm excited for what's going to come, because then that means that it's going to be heat. It already has been, but it'll just be a continuation of just heat this entire part. And maybe that's what they wanted to do. Maybe they just wanted to get the Blue Vortex. It's a different mangaka, Ikimoto, right, Rob?
He's back.
Yeah, so Ikimoto, different person. Yes, he's worked with Naruto on the Naruto series and the Shippuden series, but
or before they had somebody else, didn't they?
I think it was a little bit more broken up for the Boruto portion. Like it wasn't organized. I think what happened was it was like some parts was Ikimoto, some parts was Kishimoto, some parts I don't know.
Ukyo Kodachi.
Okay, there you go. So
Kishimoto and Ikimoto was still illustrating it, but then Kodachi
took over writing.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Okay, so they say you Buns.
He was technically.
He was Buns, so they said, okay, new direction. But yeah, I'm anime-wise, I'm excited. Question to those who have read the manga: do you think that they will flesh out some of the parts that's happened in Blue Vortex in terms of the actual like story and such? So when I think of like Sasuke, I'm gonna try to do this without spoiling, but I'm still gonna say spoiler alert. the portions with Sasuke and Boruto. I just put it. I'll leave it at that. Do you think that things like that may be fleshed out more in the anime, or do you think that they'll go 1-to-1 with how the manga was written?
If they're smart, they go 1-to-1 because so far it's a straight peak from the start.
Yeah.
You need to go 1-to-1 at this point. Don't falter from what the material that you have, because right now we're what 22 chapters in, and it's at least enough for 2 seasons, at least.
It's a lot. Yeah, it is. It's wordy. And it's wordy.
But the problem
so like
is,
that make you think of like Hunter X or Hunter x Hunter.
But the issue is though, with it being 22 chapters, it's only 50 pages each, 50 pages each. They can't drop any anime until it at least reaches 36,
right?
Maybe. You need at least 3 years of material to get started. So you're not
So I got some good
pushing
news.
ahead. Oh god.
I got some good news. The anime director, this is from Screen Rant, a recent statement by the anime director for Boruto's new direction, Kyohei Ibata, suggested that direction is so focused and intense, there simply doesn't seem to be any room for any original anime content. For fans of the original Boruto's anime lengthy diversions, this is a major turning point. So it seems like they're getting straight to the point.
Yeah. I agree with Tito. When is this supposed to come out?
They still have not released the release date, but fans now is supposedly certain things that I believe that they've done with their profile or something like that shows that they're currently working on it.
It doesn't need to come out for another year.
Yeah, give it another year. Give it some time to cook, bake.
And to be honest with you, Boruto, if they're gonna go that route, they should probably talk to Ikimoto and Kishimoto and say, look, can we go to a bi-monthly release? Can we go to a weekly release? Is there, or excuse me, bi-weekly or weekly release? Because even with that year, you got to figure that's only 12. It's only 12 chapters. Not saying that couldn't be enough with where they are at currently, but you see what happens. Like, but this is all I'm gonna say. This is what I use as the example. One Piece had to take a break because they were catching up too close to the chapters. One Piece, the manga that comes out more regularly than most, had to take a break, and they come out weekly because they were catching up too closely with the manga, and it was like a 8-month break, not an 8-month, but it was like a 6-month break because they were catching up too close in the anime to the manga. So if you only drop 12 chapters a year, how many breaks would they end up having to take?
They luckily, in their favor, they didn't even finish the story from part 1 yet, from the anime. They got close.
I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
But it does matter. It does matter because of that. Yes, it does. Because one of the most major things that shifted the entire globe happened in that first part.
No, they can just give us a quick playback episode.
Absolutely not. That's disrespectful.
That's not disrespectful.
On top of that, it comes out every month, so usually they're going around the same amount that a weekly manga would be releasing as well. So I think as long as they do it in like core style, seasons break it up, 12 episodes, probably less, since you got so much content in one chapter. I think they'll be able to make up for it. I think they'll be good. They gotta put in the rest of part 1 though.
I don't want to see it. I hear you, but I don't want to see it.
But yeah,
I just don't. I don't care. I want to get right to Blue Vortex. I understand they gotta make it make sense because it would just be a like huge jump, but do that in one episode.
It's gonna be cold, man.
Honestly, do a little TV movie or something. But I don't want it to be. I do not want. I do not want
Nigga said,
Boruto to be dragged out. I don't need no 5 episodes. I don't need half a season.
That's crazy. Like 3 episodes, I feel like is max. I feel like they'd be cool wrapping
And
it
I
up.
really hope.
Even if they need 3, probably 2 to be honest with
Bruh,
you.
That's what I was just about to say. I
they
really
don't
hope
know
it's
how to
1 to
wrap it
2.
up. They don't know how to like wrap that stuff up. Like that's the bad part. They don't.
I agree with T.
Because
I
they
think
showed
they do a terrible job with stuff like
Because
that.
they showed that they can't. If you look at like how many fillers we got with Shippuden, how many fillers we got with Boruto, like it's gonna happen where they gonna overdo it. It's gonna be like 15 episodes. It's gonna be like Goku Frieza all over again.
Ideally, I would like to see them get that. I would like to see them get to 50 chapters in the manga, and I would like to see 2 episodes with the Boruto stuff, and then I would like to I want 11, 12 episode season, and I want the last thing I would want is like I want them to do like like how Bleach did they break Rob.
Yeah.
I would like for them to do like where it's like, okay, we released a year ago, and then that following year around that same time, that's when we get more content. So that way they had like maybe 62 chapters or so by the time we come back around. And people might be, I'm gonna be honest with you, I can 100% see where people will be upset at that, but I'm seeing how this goes. You could either be upset about that, or you could be upset about a 2-year break left on a cliffhanger. Preferably, don't need that.
Again, they still got that little grace period to wrap up the rest of story 1, so they have a little bit of wiggle room to give even more time for the manga to get further down the line and everything like that. Stack up more chapters, and again, we got 44 pages in each chapter. So it's a lot of content.
It's a lot.
To swim through
It's true.
in one singular chapter. But nonetheless, I'm just excited. That studio Perot is actually working on that thing now, and hopefully it's a lot better than Boruto, the first one. The Batman 2 script. Let me see if I got this pulled up. All right, they got another script update from James Gunn. Somebody, I think it was on some social media site. Oh, my bad. On Threads, James Gunn revealed that the Batman 2 script was never expected to arrive by Memorial Day, which has been rumored. Somebody on Threads, I assume those rumors about Matt Reeves delivering the script on Memorial Day are also BS. James Gunn, haven't heard that one, but it's also not true. No one ever expected it by them. How do y'all feel about this news with the rumors saying that he was supposed to get the script by this point in time? Do you feel like James Gunn is just giving us the runaround? Do you feel like this Batman 2 is ever going to come out? Do you feel like James Gunn is even putting his time and attention?
They don't need for this to come out. They don't. I'm done with Sprinkles Batman. He can go somewhere. I'm good.
Do what you think.
I mean, it's a lot of reports because somebody asked him like, "Yo, people are dying to have." He was like, somebody was like, "All DC fans want Robert Pattinson's Batman in your universe," and then James Gunn responded with like, saying all fans is a bit of a stretch, and I'm like, damn, like this don't seem like that movie really moving forward. Yeah, we had Penguin, but it's like that movie came out when 2022.
Yep.
So it's like we should have had a movie this year. Like if the fact that the script isn't even ready yet, and James Gunn doesn't even seem to be concerned with it, because he did come out and say that he's still working on. He's working with the writers for the Batman and Wonder Woman movies. Like they want to get those characters right first. So maybe since he's like the head of DC, he's probably like, I don't need the confusion with 2 Batmans while we're building a universe right now. So with his comments, I feel like they're not even going to go forward with a Batman 2. Like T said, a lot of people weren't really clamoring for it. While the Penguin was a good series and the Batman was an okay movie, it's not like people were like, "Yo, we need to see a part 2 to this," because it was just like they were going to be using the Joker anyway, most likely.
Why is TV?
You said
I'm
what?
sorry. No, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
No, you good.
why is TV like so unlikable? It seems like I understand it's a lot of like glamour and like glitz and glamour that goes behind movies, but if if the Penguin show came out and it was good, why couldn't this be an opportunity to have a Batman TV show through HBO? Something. It's not even like HBO is like whack. Like HBO is regarded in HBO series at least are regarded in the light of it's the high like one of the highest lights that you possibly can be in for television and
The
streaming.
people that they had in that Batman movie were probably going to cost too much if they did it for TV. Because you're going to have Alfred making appearances. You got
That's
Andy
true.
Serkis. You got Robert Pattinson. Then you have Commissioner Gordon. Like a lot of these people are like actors that are in a lot more than just comic book movies. So then you take into account, like, yeah, you could have had, maybe a Catwoman series.
And you already got Colin Farrell with the
That's
Penguin.
what I'm saying. So y'all got Colin Farrell, but like you're saying, like for the budget, you ain't really see too many other people from Batman's Rogues Gallery or any other appearances. Like, yo, since we paying Colin Farrell, we just gonna keep it strictly on him. Now, if we get Batman, you would probably have to go with a lesser known actor. You probably go with a lesser known Alfred. Catwoman will probably make appearances here and there. Commissioner Gordon will probably be some random dude because it's like that they had a star-studded cast for the movie. So for a TV show or for a TV series, plus they would have to work on special effects and visuals. I think it would cost too much.
I got a question for you. Okay.
Mhm.
What if they kept it around the villains? Still the same universe. They took a break with Batman and just kept the series around the villains. You have a Poison Ivy. You have a Killer Croc. You have a whatever. One of our topics on here is I don't know whether we're gonna get to it or not, but one of our topics was the Absolute Universe. Like we've seen more grounded, albeit in maybe the comic books, but we've seen these characters be done in more grounded, realistic ways. If HBO Max said, okay, well, we had success with Penguin. We want to continue this world. It's too much money to get all of the cast that we have for Batman. Why don't we take a break with the actual Batman movie and focus on the villains from that universe for an HBO series? Do you think that would be a good idea?
That would be a dope idea, but we got introduced to the Penguin in the movie. So if they wanted to go that route, maybe they did like a Penguin season 2 and introduce somebody like Scarecrow or introduced because I feel like it seems more grounded. Like they wouldn't have like a Mr. Freeze or a fucking Man-Bat.
Maybe even Poison Ivy would be a little too much.
Yeah, maybe Poison Ivy could be probably like a scientist or something like that, but having her be like, growing vines and doing all that other comic book shit, I don't think they would do that.
Mhm.
But if they kept it grounded with his Rogues Gallery, I feel like they could. And then that way they can have like that scene from Titans when they had Batman like in the shadows, like fighting or whatever. I think it was like a dream sequence or something. That way, if they focused on his villains and had a TV show, they can keep Batman as like this enigma. And that way you could be like, oh, the movie's going to come out in like a year or two or some shit like that. And you can see why the villains move the way they do because they never know when Batman is around. They never know, who they can trust because they don't know, what Batman knows and what's going on. Like they gotta, I don't know. It's like, because you figure like when we always hear Batman in the comics like shaking down criminals, he always getting somebody to talk. They could highlight that in the show, be like, yo, we need somebody we need a crew of people that we know not gonna talk when the Batman comes around. We need this and this. Like you can really flesh out like their operations. But then again, it's like they really gotta build some excitement. I feel like maybe the movie is the only way to go about that.
Okay. That's a good point. Because I just was looking at it from the angle of if this movie is too much work and not something that the head of your DC creative wants to even deal with, maybe it would be better to push it to the background and just not necessarily say, okay, we're cutting the entire thing. We're just going to drop it, but just say, oh, we're going to work on it from a different angle. And that can be that television angle, which we've already seen success from. But I do get what you're saying. Is that enough? Especially like come time, let's say that they were to do that, right? and then you go back around to the Batman movie. Okay, you're throwing the marketing there, you're throwing everything out there. You got Robert Pattinson, you got behind the scenes with Robert Pattinson popping up in like 2025 and like 2030. To your point, is the attraction still going to be there, since it would have been 8-9 years out since we actually got the last viewing of Robert Pattinson in this role? Is it even worth it at that point? Plus, to your point, also to add to your point, you not only have to consider that, but the idea of James Gunn having his own Batman that people would have been more than likely introduced to at this point. Is it worth it? I think you brought up great points. I don't know. I would like to still see something come from that universe. I'm not as pessimistic on it. I feel like as T is, I would like to see something come from that universe still. I thought Penguin was good. I loved watching that series. I loved how it just seems like it was done really well. I didn't hate the Batman movie. I thought that it was very, like, it paid homage in a way to me, or it has some remnants to The Dark Knight, which, it's been, The Dark Knight came out in 2008. We in 2025, so that's what, how many years is that? My math is not there right now.
13, right?
Something like that, yeah. So it's been a while since we've had that feel. So it was nice to get that feel with the Batman, like, that came out, and then to also kind of get a similar feel with the Penguin. So
yeah,
I would like to see it continue, but I don't know. Like, again, and that's the thing. Here's the thing too: if this Superman movie sucked, am I really going to want to see a James Gunn Batman? If I had to pick,
James Gunn Batman nowhere.
like, if I'm having to, like, if that's the thing, if the Superman sucks, you're gonna be sitting there like, well, I'd rather you just continue the Batman if you're gonna do a Batman series. It could very likely give off those vibes.
Luckily, he's not writing the Batman movie.
He still can make it suck.
He's not writing He's not writing the Batman or the Wonder Woman movie. He directed that to two other people, I believe. But yeah, his imprint, if I swear for Jesus, it's more comics than this nigga Batman punching a nigga in the face in this movie, or more jokes than.
Could you imagine a funny Batman?
Bruh.
I can't, bro. That would be it. If he made Batman like Thor and Thor Love and Thunder or Thor Ragnarok, if that was like how Batman came off, I would be done with. I couldn't do it anymore. I'd be like, yeah, I can't. DC is just, I'm done with DC for a minute.
Yeah, I would be kind of hot, for real.
It'd be mutiny in the streets. James Gunn,
It's
you can't get away.
Batman,
with it,
bro. It's Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing about Batman is supposed to be that.
All right, since we're on DC already, I think we can end off with this. This has been a comic series that a lot of us within the podcast have thoroughly been enjoying so far. It seems damn near like every single character that they have in their lineup is shining within their respective storylines. I haven't really gotten to some of them, so I'm happy to hear what I have to say about them. But we are talking about the Absolute series from DC. My main question, this is obviously a new series for DC. It's kind of like a more grounded approach to all of the heroes, if I'm not mistaken, from the few heroes that I've read so far. Why do y'all think that DC's Absolute Universe is so appealing to comic readers at this present point in time?
I would say because they've done so many reboots in the past, where it's like when we were in high school, they did New 52. And then they did Rebirth, like, 3 or 4 years ago. And it's like, damn, like, they might change one or two things in the story, or change someone's power set just a little bit, or, I don't know, tweak a costume. But it's like, when you look at the Absolute Universe, there's a whole different aspect to who this character is and why they feel more grounded. Like, Superman not being an infant when Krypton blew up, like being, somewhat of a preteen, or Batman still having his mother, and his rogues gallery in the main comics are actually friends that he grew up with. And then you have Superman, fighting against Peacemaker, but it's not Peacemaker, it's Peacemakers. Like it's a whole police corps or something of that nature. Then you've got Green Lantern, and a lot hasn't been explained at the Green Lantern Corps because it's only been like 2 issues that have come out. But there's like different levels of light, and it's like, okay, they're not sending rings. It's something totally different. Then with the Flash, it's like his powers don't rely on the Speed Force this time around. It's like maybe it's some type of time dilation or something like that. It's like they take a whole different twist on their powers, but they keep them the same character, and it's really just an interesting take that they have on them.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. It's point that you brought up that I didn't even think about, but you're absolutely right. The idea of it not having to be, we still have the main DC like universe. It doesn't have to be this like multiversal event that happens, and it's like, DC, how many times are you about to do that over and over? It's like for almost the entirety, if not the entirety of the 21st century, it just was that over and over. All right, we saved the universe, we saved the multiverse or the universe. Now we gotta save the multiverse and universe again. Mm-hmm. You get maybe a year in between where it's some material where it's just kind of like back in the, like, it's just in their respective worlds. So like what the Flash is actually going through, or what Batman or Superman is going through, like, yeah, and that's usually the stuff that people really would enjoy. So them being able to actually focus on that as opposed to a universal or multiversal threat event, and having it just be a separate like universe that we can kind of learn and grow with, and then for it to Dee's point as well, for it to be as grounded as it has been. I'm not gonna lie to you. I always kind of wish that there was more to Martian the Manhunter, and the way that they're doing Martian the Manhunter in this absolute universe is very interesting. Green Lanterns has always had appeal for a various level of comic book fan. It's one of the best long-standing series in regards to telling interesting stories, unique stories, having different elements like mysteries and such to it. For this to have all of those same elements, but to be able to have the take that it does, where when we do get the introduction with people getting their powers, it's kind of like they're all together, as opposed to what's his name? It's like Amin Sor or whatever his name is, the like Green Lantern that originally crash landed on Earth, and Hal Jordan getting his, the having the willpower and being the closest one with the highest level of willpower to get the ring. That's typically how it has gone through for the original run, but to be able to have the elements of how the original Lantern, Hal Jordan in this case, got, at least that we were aware of on Earth, having how he got his ring be intertwined with how not just him but also various other Lanterns gain their powers as well, having the spin on regards to what their powers are and such. It's just really, really good. The Flash, I haven't gotten as deep in terms of how that story has played out, but with them kind of saying, just looking at how the fact that you have different Flashes, and they didn't say let's necessarily focus on Barry Allen, but let's kind of go back to Wally West, which is a favorite while Barry Allen was out for decades in the comics. I thought that made sense. It feels like a DC comic fans, like fan service almost to a DC comic fan. Anybody that has been a DC comic fan, it's drawn on a lot of the things that people have enjoyed over the years with DC. Batman has been ridiculously good. Like we were talking about it before, there's not that many Superman comics that follow the traditional Superman storyline that are very interesting. It's very plain, and it's the original superhero, so it's okay, but it's something where we haven't necessarily had a lot of interest. We haven't necessarily had a lot of interest in regards to it. So it's really, really cool to see that they're actually doing the origin story and keeping and maintaining that. They're maintaining that, but they're also telling it in a way that has never been told before, and it's way more interesting. It's just all around way more interesting than any other origin Superman story that I've ever read. Additionally, with Batman, I want to see that. It's so good. It's to the point where I want to see something out of this. If they made a live action movie and they said we just gonna adopt the absolute Batman story for it, that would, if James Gunn went that route as an example, I'm going to see it. Even if it's by him, he's not. But
he's too self-absorbed to take somebody else's work and be like, yeah, this is better than some shit I would do.
Yeah, I agree. But that's something where I will, if they even mentioned that they were making a live action movie off that, I'm going to see that.
Or
if
even do animation.
Exactly. If they even, we were talking a bit about that before, you know, it'd be a perfect time for DC to kind of add some life to their animation world. If they took this entire absolute universe and just said, this is what we're going to make our animations around, I'm watching everything that they will make out of that. I would be 100% committed to that because the stories are just that well. Even if it was just Batman, you could give me 5 Batman movies from the absolute Batman realm, and I would. I'm watching all 5 of them. So, yeah,
and
very, very pleased.
I'm about to say with absolute Batman, I feel like that's probably everybody's kind of favorite because there's so many. There's more issues out right now. But I feel like Flash will get a little bit more interesting. I like Superman a lot. I'm not gonna lie, I like the Superman one. But like you said, with Martian Manhunter and it being like, it's like a play on Firestorm. It's both John Johns and John Jones and the Martian. But the thing is with me, I got a theory. You know how this universe is created by Darkseid when he merged with the Spectre and kind of like died and created this image from a void. Like he created this universe from his own image from like the void that he was in. So it's like, this is a very different take on the universe. But in my opinion, Martian Manhunter was there when Darkseid came in as a Spectre, maybe trying to see what was going on in his mind, because he tells John Jones, I'm from a place so far away it wouldn't even make sense if I told you. So it's not like, oh, I'm from a different galaxy, I'm from a different universe, not a universe, but different galaxy. It's like, oh, he's from a different star system, but maybe this is how our Martian Manhunter somehow gets into this universe to see what's going on, like inside of what Darkseid has created. But I don't know if that's the case. Maybe he just tried to find something familiar. But the Martian Manhunter series is like,
I like that though.
It's very refreshing. I would say that series, and especially Batman. My favorite thing about the Batman one is how Alfred is kind of like his, not a butler, because I know Alfred is kind of like a spy in this anyway. Yeah, so showing Alfred is like in his military phase. Yeah, like helping Batman in certain ways, like through fighting, because Batman is self-taught, but Alfred with Batman being self-taught, it makes more sense like why he acts the way he does. And then they give Joker Batman's backstory, like he defeated the League of Assassins, he defeated this person, and they call him Joker because he doesn't laugh at anything. And it's like, damn, this makes sense. Being one of the top 30 richest people on the planet, knowing all these martial arts, and then just being, like strictly in business and doing all this and that, it makes sense how Joker could be evil and have the funds to be doing all this maniacal shit that he's always doing.
It's amazing twist on the characters. It's in the idea that Batman's like rogue gallery is his friends, and they smoking. They're smoking. Even the way that they did Freeze is it's so creepy. It's so creepy. But it's like, when you think about it, this character, given that it's like one of Batman's villains that are like albeit the original one doesn't have like ice powers to a true like in a true sense. I will put Freeze in the category of characters out of the Batman mythos that should feel creepier.
Yeah.
Like that character should feel creepier. And I always felt like, even when you go back to because I love the animated movie that came out when we were kids. I thought when I saw that movie, I remember like afterwards feeling like, you know what, they really could make a creepier Freeze. Like going forward, it would make sense to me if they did that. And it really took until Absolute Batman really got what I imagined in my head for like Freeze to really be like. Because the backstory, everything with Freeze is creepy, and they didn't even use the backstory from the original one. They said, no, we're going to spend all of that, but they still brought in that creepy element. It's really good. Like, it's extremely good. And I also don't want to not talk about Wonder Woman, because Wonder Woman is correct. What I love about Wonder Woman is Wonder Woman, if you like go back to like the Greek mythology, like I'm talking like just regular Greek mythology stuff, there is a lot of dark and creepy stuff that comes off of those stories. When you go into like Odyssey, right? Like that is an example. There's elements of places and things that they've been to that have like really dark and really like, ooh, like, okay, that's not very brilliant elements to it. Like, it's not, when I mean brilliant, I mean like joyful or like lighthearted or like more illustrious elements to it. It's like things about I think about the Muses as an example. The Muses is a messed up story. You got the idea of an island of women that's like the sound of the women are causing shipwrecks and stuff like that. That's not exactly very positive. That's very dark and like and just but for them to draw on like the darker, like, oh, like this is not exactly the greatest, brightest, like more illustrious elements of Wonder Woman, I think that's incredible. Lasso of Truth, get that out of here. Get that out of here. We're not even doing that. We're gonna just do this like more twisted. And mind you, despite everything about her being twisted, she's still Wonder Woman. Mm-hmm. She's still optimistic. She's still like somebody who you want to be. Who like you? This version of Wonder Woman, when she had that fight with that little octopus thing, whatever the thing is with the sound and all of that, when she had the fight with that thing, I'm like, bruh, she could lead an army. Oh, yeah. And they always think about the movies. They always try to illustrate the Athena aspect of her, the war leadership side of Wonder Woman, right? They always try to make sure that they kind of got something, even if they don't show it, they always have something that's kind of trying to allude to her role in that, like that military-esque leadership style. This was the most authentic way of doing that to me. Like, you just got the troops sitting there like, bruh, I would die for this woman. Are you kidding? And she optimistic the whole way. They like, I will, bro. This is a real one right here. She really feel like it in this iteration of that the Absolute World is done. It's really, I'm in a way, it's like I'm not shocked, because I always say to y'all, I said this from one of the earliest podcasts that we ever did, and I always have stood on this. I think that DC has let me phrase it better this time. DC has they have higher potential for better stories, just based off the foundation that a lot of these characters have. Now, if they actually deliver on that is another conversation. Mm-hmm. You can absolutely say that Marvel may have a better job at execution with fleshing out their narratives. But I think, in my opinion, I think DC has the better groundwork for it. And this Absolute Universe is doing an amazing job of showing exactly what I've always meant by when I've said that. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of the series right now. That's all I got. I got excited for a second. My fault.
What about you, T?
I haven't tapped into the Absolute Batman series. I plan to, or the Absolute Wonder Woman. I started reading the Task Force and then fell off on trying to keep up with the comics. But with the tone of everything with Absolute Task Force, I know that Batman and Wonder Woman is straight heat. Because even with Task Force, it's like the Teen Titans and other groups of people, or even the Bat family, are like fighting their head people. Like you have these bots that took all all of the main superheroes' abilities, and everybody got to fight them. Like where one of the issues they had to fight like the Batman clone machine. So it knew everything that Nightwing would do. It knew everything Batwoman would do. It knew everything. What's the face? The Black Batman. I forgot.
Oh, I know you're talking about. I can't remember his name.
He was in Bat Blood or whatever.
Lucius Fox's son.
Yeah, Lucius Fox's son and Damian, and pretty much it got to the point where they ended up losing. So I'm not gonna lie, the tone of that where they're really didn't really come out on top, it speaks volumes because you actually show these heroes being humanized where they will take their losses. And the thing that sucks about the Absolute Task Force is that you gotta read chapter 3 of the Absolute Batman or of the Green Lantern or Aquaman, because each part branches off to where the comic carries on from. So each chapter is like a different superhero, but if you want to continue that hero, you got to follow the line for which chapters it's going to, for what absolute line to continue from. But overall, like, I like the tone of it. Amanda Waller, she's you think Batman got contingency plans. She's always ready for what these heroes throw at her. And she has become even scarier in the Absolute Task Force.
Interesting. I'm actually, while y'all were talking about it, I got a whole order list from Gutter Pop Comics. Shameless plug. I got Absolute Batman in there. I got Absolute Wonder Woman #1, #6. I'm just trying to pick them up as much as I can. I can't even pick them up in order at this present point in time. That's how hot them things is right now. So, gotta pick it up.
Anyone that stuck out for you, Sage?
Really, Absolute Batman has really gotten my attention, and Absolute Superman. Absolute Flash is still kind of building up for me. It might be doing the same for everybody else. So it has a lot of potential, though. It does have a lot of potential. I'm intrigued by how desperate odds these heroes face. Like, I feel like this is a Superman that's probably the most vulnerable Superman we've seen in quite some time, I believe.
Fair.
Right?
Did y'all read that last issue for Superman?
Nah, not yet.
No.
Okay.
Well, I don't even know what issues these niggas is on right now, because I'm trying to get the physical copies, but I guess
it's hard.
The digital copies is already out there.
Yeah.
I sent the website for the digital copies.
Oh, bet. I wanted to wait, but goddamn it, I'm gonna have to treat this like manga back in the 2010s. Back in the 2010s.
That's why I was like, yo, I didn't know it was coming out like just short, because I was thinking it was like a full comic book for some reason. I was like, damn, these issues short as hell. But yeah, all the issues on that website. But for sure, I'm definitely just reading them as they come out. I can't wait for these, bro.
Yeah, it's just like that.
I gotta tap in, man. All right, so I'm gonna go up on that website.
Low key, I'm looking forward to Absolute Aquaman if they do that nigga.
Yeah.
Ooh,
bro, exactly. Anybody that at this point they could say Absolute Harley Quinn, and I would be like, all right, though, the way it's been going, I might not know.
We already seen Jimmy Olsen with the Omega Men, like the Peacemakers with Lois Lane, and then the Omega Men. They use boom tubes already. So I don't know if Cyborg already there, but we already seen Absolute Brainiac, and that shit is already crazy.
It's crazy.
Also, I believe that they have already agreed upon 2 years. I think we talked about this. 2 years for, I believe, the creator for Absolute Batman. I don't know if it's different creators, isn't it?
Scott Snyder, I think, right? Well, he's the writer, I think.
Yes. Marketing. I want them to give him the DCU. Can we get another Snyder? All right, y'all didn't like Zack.
Yeah, so
let's give Scott. Let's give Scott a shot. Maybe we can be in the middle here. Got a Snyder and a change.
Jeez Louise.
Well, I found the site to be able to Read everything.
Yeah, bro. T, I'm telling you, this worth tapping in.
I got to.
It's worth tapping in. It's just everything from it has been.
Nah, they got all the way up to this site I'm on has all of them up to chapter 9. So,
bro, because you think about it. Remember when in 2015 Justice League War came out, like that movie? Granted, it was like the New 52 version of the Justice League, how they all meet because of Darkseid. Bruh, the way they going with this Batman story and the Superman story, because like in this version, Ra's al Ghul is like in the Superman comics, but it's like he's still got ties to some shit that could be going on with Batman. And then it's like when you see in Wonder Woman, that like I feel like Batman, Superman, and Martian Manhunter are all gonna have ties sooner or later. And then Wonder Woman and Flash gonna end up having ties because it's like Flash's power is so crazy. The fact that he can feel the past and he think about it and be there, and then see the future and somehow be there as well. So it's like I just want to see how he get his powers under control. But with them all teaming up, it's like, yo, like that communication is gonna be insane. Like how they all gonna coordinate that shit. That's gonna be crazy. Hopefully it come out soon though.
But the villains seem even crazier at the same time.
Yeah.
The villains, surprisingly, like I really like the Superman Peacemakers and the Omega, like Jimmy Olsen being an Omega Man, and then Lois Lane being a Peacemaker, and then
even
you got
Brainiac too.
Bro, the Brainiac.
Yeah. You got Bane.
Crazy. Bane is nuts.
Bane is nuts. Oh my. No, Bane different.
That's why when I was reading the Bane shit and I was like, nah, he's really like a Viltrumite, but he just can't fly, bro. That's really
yeah.
He different. Like, bro, the fact that he was like, oh, Kamatage. He was like, oh, like he just was.
This is different,
everything. And then he said, bro, then he said, you want to see the real me? I'm like, this ain't the real me.
That's because Batman was like, he was like, fuck you, you juiced up piece of shit.
Yeah.
Bane was like,
he said, oh, genius.
Bro, Bane was like, nigga, I ain't even used this shit yet. But since you asking, here.
Since you asked. Oh my God. I was like, bro.
Yeah. Oh,
he said, come on. He said, you still got another arm? I said, ain't no way.
Like,
he was calling out every single joint Batman was doing. He said, Muay Thai, smart. He was like, Sun Kutin, impressive. It still was beating his ass.
He was blocking every strike that he was doing, bro. This is a different Bane, but it makes so much sense. Yes. The Bane chapter just released, I believe.
Yes,
so that's chapter 9. Oh, okay.
Yes, that's chapter 9. Yeah.
I'm about to rush through that.
Oh boy.
But
it's like my favorite version. Yeah,
Niall, you can't. Batman, even Alfred is impressive for real. But you don't really see Alfred do much, but Alfred just knows a lot. But when you see Batman in action, you like, this is damn near on the way like you thought Ben Affleck Batman would have been. But this Batman with him being like, for example, I don't want to give too much away, but instead of him being a millionaire, but him being a civil engineer and making his own bat suit, you like the suit makes more sense in the way it operates. Like his wings, he can glide with his wings, but he can also fight with them. Or if he want to hang, he can hold his body weight with the wings and just be dangling and just looking at niggas. So it's like, bro,
it adds on to the fear factor even more.
In his symbol, I ain't gonna spoil it, but in the symbol on his chest,
nigga, when y'all get to that, Niall, that's in the first issue too.
That's in the first.
Rob, when you get to that scene, you're gonna be like, what these niggas talking about?
I got that. I got that in the crib. Bro, I read that.
Snyder, if they told me Scott Snyder was doing the DC universe, I'll be like, I'll pre-order the tickets.
Yeah,
bro, I can't pre-order white movies.
I don't get it. They be having heat and just be like, nah, you're not good enough.
How crazy
Why?
It would be if Batman did that shit in the movie and just start going crazy. Come on, bro.
Bro.
Nigga,
You think them Avenger movie screams be loud?
Yeah.
If he did that, if Batman did that in a movie theater, somebody be ready to punch the screen.
Yeah.
We wouldn't even be able to finish the movie. They'd be like, yeah, y'all gotta come back next Tuesday. Y'all was wilding.
That is hilarious. As you can tell, you can hear the excitement in all of our voices about this Absolute series. It's really putting a great spin. And even Marvel has their Ultimate
Just
series
about to
right
say
now.
that.
Jonathan Hickman is helming that project as well over there. So you got Scott Snyder and Jonathan Hickman just going fucking crazy right now for both Marvel
It's
and
comic book readers are eating right now.
and manga too.
Yeah,
They gotta get paid.
Yeah. So quick question.
Bad.
Oh, D. And it was like we got to stack up all this money before shit start hitting the fan.
Mhm.
For real. But quick question before we get out of here. Would you rather want the absolute? And I'm pretty sure y'all already tapped into it. But would you rather want the absolute universe to be animated or live action? If you had a choice,
Animated.
quick choice.
Animated.
Let's go. Animated.
Yeah. It's like I wanted to do live action, but I just don't trust DC so much with live action at this point that it's just like I know that it would be really well done if it was animated.
It's clean slate? What if it's clean slate? DC, let's act like all of these years that didn't just transpire.
No, still
DC
animated.
didn't transpire. Still animated?
Still animated. Because the animated movies don't really miss. They don't.
They don't, but I would say if you did like Batman, absolute Batman live action in the form of like a Watchmen style joint.
Yeah, bro. Superman. Superman.
Because Superman is more grounded in this, so you don't really have to do too much. But it's I mean, animated would be quicker and it would be better, cool. But stuff like the Flash's power set, Martian Manhunter, the way they showing these powers now, you would want to see the visual effects for that, bro.
Yeah, that's true. Bro, like Superman cape. If they got the cape, if they turned up on that cape and they showed me that in the trailer, that alone, could you imagine?
Bro, Martian Manhunter inside looking at the smoke in people's heads and doing all that? Like, bro, like, come on. I'm gonna say live action for mine.
Live action?
Clean slate. I think I would actually say
I might lean towards live action, clean slate. If it's no clean slate, obviously animation.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Because I agree with T. The animation, you know that they was smoked. Like they was smoked at, especially if it's like, bro. And that's my whole point. If they said, okay, we're about to do, like we saw what Spider-Man did with the Into the Spider-Verse saga, and it was very well received. It was very well done. If they did if like right now today, DC told me, all right, listen, y'all, we want to do movie theater animation. Like you go into the movies for this, but we're gonna be doing it with the absolute Batman or just the absolute universe in totality, bro. Because here's the thing too. To D's point earlier, we haven't seen how all of this stuff has been connected. But imagine if when we get to the end of this, we're able to see where the connections could be made on a cinematic level. Not like by the time we get to the end of it, and then that were to actually be interwoven for an animated movie. That, bro, what? Like you got one person that's Batman, one person that's Superman.
Would y'all ever do this? Like, let's say they did animated, and then when they do the team up movies, they could just do live action. Like, be like, yo, look, we can pump out a Batman, a Superman, and a Flash movie this year, a Wonder Woman, Martian Manhunter, and who else?
Green Lantern.
Green Lantern next year. The year after that, we can do we can plan this, and while we're doing that, we can do a live action Justice League movie. Like, watch the animation and then do the live action Justice League. I feel like that would be dope. People really
like that.
Like, because you saving mad bread doing that though.
And you got mad time. You got mad, like if you really don't know, like if you keep battling with, I don't know how to do this the right way. You got these stories that's animated that could draw more from the comic books. You could see how that is received. And then from that, I don't know whether this microphone went out, and then from that, once you get to that live action movie, which is like you said, that team up movie, it's like, all right, well, all we really got to do is follow the vibe that the animated movie has been going.
Exactly.
And it's so many characters in here that we don't gotta like. It's not like you gotta say, oh, we have to make some renowned script. Not when you got all of these different characters in here. All you just need is whatever storyline has already been following from the animated movies. I like that a lot. I wish they would go that route. I like that a lot. Cinematic animations. Just pivot to cinematic animations. They've worked with Sony in the past for lesser content.
Thinking, bro.
They don't.
Warner Bros ain't gonna work with nobody.
they really ain't.
But go pull up HBO Max, go pull up one of the animations, go all the way to the end of the credits. You'll see how many different studios they worked with. They could go to those same studios or go to studios that they've always wanted to work with, maybe, and say, look, we got a bag that we throwing at you. We want to send it. We want how Sony, you know how you did Into the Spider-Verse? We want that here at DC. Give us one of those. Then you spend a couple of years building all of those out, and then ask Sony, yo, we want to kind of follow a similar marketing plan or strategy that you did. Because to be honest with you, if you think about it, the marketing for Into the Spider-Verse wasn't that crazy. It wasn't before the movie came out. Y'all, we are nerds and geeks, so we was gonna see it anyways. But how many trailers did you really see? How many sneak peeks did you see during an NBA Finals or a Super Bowl when Into the Spider-Verse came out, or did it just kind of come out?
I think they had a couple. I think they had a couple trailers, but the first one was so good that you didn't.
You didn't need to. But even for that first one, yeah, they gave us trailers. They let us know that it was coming, but they didn't drop a truckload for the marketing on that. Mm-hmm. It just came out, and people was like, okay, it's animated, so kids gonna want to see it because it's animated off rip. Comic book nerds gonna want to see it. They gonna know about it. As long as those two demographics is covered, which is likely gonna happen with an animation movie anyways. That really is our marketing.
But that was coming off of wasn't that coming off of the success of the video game too, though?
Maybe throw a video game in there. Because DC used to kill it with video games.
You got Tom Holland movies coming out. You got the video game coming out, and they like, yo, let's throw in animation. Like, ain't nobody gonna get tired of Spider-Man.
That's true.
If it's good writing, so it's like, I feel like DC they gotta build up that hype again. Like, okay, cool, the comics popping right now. Y'all got to get animation popping again. Is it from animation?
Video games,
bro. I don't think it's one good DC video game out besides Arkham.
Nope.
They still haven't released a fucking Superman game again.
Thank
Even
God.
the Flash.
Thank God.
Yeah.
All these powerful games. I mean, all these powerful systems, and they need
to get into it. They need to. That means I think it would be so much smarter for them if they just said, if this Superman movie bomb, they say, okay, we're gonna take a break from live action, but that does not mean we're gonna give up on the DC universe. We're just gonna pivot to games, and we're just gonna pivot to animation. And you make a powerhouse out of both of those with the comics that you have coming out now. I think that those three sectors of the DC world and sphere will be able to get y'all to the point where y'all could properly flesh out a live action, where they could properly look at how stories perform, because they could look at how the stories perform in the video games, they could look at how stories perform in the comic books, and they could look at how stories perform in the cinematic animations. And that's going to give you a good sample size to try to figure out how exactly should we craft the story around the actual live action. I think that's the problem. They tried to play keeping up with the Joneses with Marvel.
Right.
They didn't need to do that, and they need to get their own sample set. Just figure out what your audience wants to see. You can experiment with that with games, with animation, etc. Once you have that groundwork, then you go and say, okay, I know we can feel confident about it. I know we can give you a good live action Batman. I know we can give you a good live action Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, whatever the case may be. But they not, and they also got HBO. Warner also got HBO. You could do TV series. Just fall back from the movies. For a little bit. What is the problem? They just want because they see in Disney and they being all competitive. Well, Disney's doing it, so we need to do it. Stop trying to compete with Disney. Sony need to do the same thing. Stop trying to compete with Disney. If you can't make a good movie on your own, stop trying to make a movie. Go figure out something else.
It's hard for these niggas to get their eyes off Disney because they business relations is intertwined with them niggas. The only reason why Tom Holland's Spider-Man, albeit I do like his Spider-Man, is because he's associated with Marvel a grander scheme.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for him,
and the thing is, they seeing money, bro, because like these Avengers movies, like that, those last two Avengers movies bringing in a billion. Mm-hmm. It's like, bro, like that's where they get caught up. They like, hold on, you made $1 billion. Your budget was what? Your budget was 300. Well, you said your budget was what? 300 million, and you made $1 billion. You said how much was it, T?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the budget, but yeah, I'm just spitballing here, but if that's what the studio head's going to look at, like that's what Warner Brothers going to look at, that's what Sony going to look at. If you put 300 million into a project and you come out with $1 billion, that's a $700 million success.
Mm-hmm. Nigga, the Joker did. They should have just followed that formula.
The first Joker, or are you talking about the second?
Keep it simple.
The first Joker hit $1 billion, and I think the budget was like 50 mil or 150 mil or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Just go with stuff like that worked.
Very grounded, very centered story. Like everything was there.
Who can we do grounded movies like this with? That's it. Just leave it at that. Who can we do grounded? I don't know. See, I can't think off the top of my head.
Mr. Freeze, you can make it grounded. Like his backstory with his wife, like what he's doing, the stuff he's trying to do.
However, and whatever, they just should. I agree with you. They should just, if they say, okay, this is what's working, and it's able to make us a lot of money, just stay within that realm. Everything else, pivot to animation, pivot to games, pivot to TV series. Would have been fine. They don't. I don't know. It's going. I don't know. DC is such an anomaly with me. It's like same thing with Sony. It's one of those things where it's like I don't want to say that y'all can't succeed until y'all y'all just can't succeed with these IPOs under you. But I don't know. Like I don't know whether that's fair to say. I don't know whether that's the case. In the case of DC, like in the case of DC and Warner, their relationship go back 50 plus years. And there has been a lot of success in that 50 plus years that they've had a relationship. So I don't know whether that's the actual truth or not. It's probably not the truth.
Right.
But that's how it feels now. Like that's just that it's been such a consistency of bad media that's come out that it's like that's how it's literally gotten to the point where it feels like I feel like y'all got to give up the entire property in order for it to have success. But I don't know what it's going to take to figure it out, but they're going to have to figure it out.
Yeah.
They need to nip that shit in the bud. Nonetheless, we appreciate y'all. We gonna come back. We shall see how this DC universe is gonna shape for the live action. Maybe James Gunn turns it around. Maybe, who knows? But we shall catch y'all next week, episode 69. You don't need to know much more than that. Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good rest of y'all week. Peace.
These dreams on the road to riches, focus on the ticket, maximize my means. It's like now I'm just trying to float. There's a couple holes up in this boat. Dose my mind just so I can cope. They focus on the dollar, feel like I'm a